I didn't expect any of that reading the script. I thought we were just gonna be CGI. But it was all built in a stage. My reaction is so real because it's beautifully done.
We must have shot that for 4 or 5 weeks, almost every day. And, you know, at times I'd be 100 feet in the air, attached to a box that is spinning. And then I would basically hang on until it would throw me off.
I had done some pretty big scale action in my career, but nothing like this before. It was a great marriage of practical filmmaking with some pretty high-end technical stuff, along with incredible visual effects.
Nathan Drake, at the end of the day, is human. So designing these action sequences around that was really, really fun.
Could you move any slower? Bad ankle.
I was lucky enough now to be playing the elder statesman who doesn't have to be as physically capable as Nathan. He's smart enough to use his wits about him and let Nathan do most of the heavy lifting. There's only one rule in this game, kid. Don't get caught.
Tati, she was a force. When she takes out those 3 guards at the auction, she was so committed.
It's never fun fighting in a dress and heels. You never think that that's what you're gonna have to do, and then boom.
And I remember she was kicking me in the chest, and sort of 5 or 6 takes in, I remember saying to her, like, do you have any sort of martial art training? Because she was beating the shit out of me.
We really, pushed ourselves to try and meet the level that the video games had set. I hate action that doesn't have personality in it. It's so great when you can find humor and character within the action.
Yeah, I got it. Sex on the beach.
There's actually this really cool stunt where Nate blows fire out of his mouth, jumps on the counter, onto the other counter, and then through the hole right as the door is closing.
Designing the fighting was really interesting because he's someone who's incredibly capable but not trained, which was actually quite tricky, and it took a while to get right. But I do think in the film it comes across that he's just someone who's very gifted.
Hand it over, Victor.
One of the great moments in this film is what we call the Papa John's fight.
Papa John's. Yeah, never got my pizza, by the way.
Braddock and Sully facing off as below them you have this perilous sequence with Sophia and Tom stuck in a well.
She has got the upper hand on me, and I'm kind of with the ticking clock trying to save them and keep my operation going.
At first, it was very intimidating. That was my first real interaction with Mark. Him walking into this stunt rehearsal. He came in hitting 30 years under his belt, hit the ground running. I'd been rehearsing for 2 days, and he's like, all right, let's do it.
She's absolutely amazing, especially in martial arts and fighting. She certainly didn't need a stunt double at any time, that's for sure.
Fighting should be basically unwritten dialogue. So we wanted to give Braddock something different. She's a trained assassin.
Oh, sorry, sons of a bitch.
Sully is an older school, old hand. So he has a more street brawly, kind of just get to the point style.
First of all, it wouldn't be a fair fight. He would probably start it when you weren't looking. When he goes, there's definitely no rules.
The karambit was originally being used as a tool, and then it slowly turned into a weapon.
I think that belongs to me.
It was really hard at first learning the karambit, the whole spinning of it, and it's always connected to your body. The training for it was tricky, a lot of hand-eye coordination, but now I love it.
Not bad!
It's really authentic. When you watch them go back and forth, so much of that is improvised.
They're so cute. There is a lot of banter between Nate and Sully. Their relationship in real life is sort of similar to their relationship in the movie.
Get out of my way, man. What are you doing? Go get her! Kid, I can't be running around here. It's hot as Could you move any slower? You should have got her. Kid, it's hot out here. I can't be running around like this. I got a bad ankle, too.
It's the perfect dynamic.
There's a lot of improvising and things that we just tried on the day that I think ended up in the movie because the chemistry was really working.
It was very nice to see the synergy between Mark and I.
And you either have that or you don't. Man, give us 10 more takes. That would do that without the thing.
Yeah, I know. I was getting there.
The trick in the movie is how the antagonist structure was developed. So we start the movie establishing a fantastic antagonist.
Incredible.
Educated, smart, worldly, charismatic, but also menacing and dark and dangerous. The only person I ever could think about for Moncada was Antonio Banderas.
500 years ago, my family was betrayed. Now, today is the day I restore the Moncada's fortune.
Antonio really brings gravitas and fascination into this wealthy character who's on a mission to restore a fortune.
I'm just trying to keep, for me, what is supposed to be mine.
And then right when you're not expecting it,
Miss Braddock.
a character named Braddock, played by Tati Gabrielle, emerges as a great antagonist as well. Ruben Fleischer is a dream come true for this project. Ruben immediately said, "This is a movie I have to make." Those are always magical words to hear a director utter because it means they're coming to it with a passion.
And then that's the one where you're just gonna be free flying for a while, and then also
Ruben was somebody who I was very excited about, and I really campaigned for him to get the job as well. I think he was the perfect person, especially considering the tone we wanted to be able to balance the humor, the intensity, and the action, and of course the stakes.
I know the legend that Magellan's voyage wasn't about exploration, it was about finding that gold.
Sometimes with these big action movies, you can lose the heart, which was something that Ruben, our director, was very adamant to keep present.
That's a hard balance to make, where you've got some pretty funny moments, and yet on the other hand, some real nervousness about whether our guys are gonna come through this okay. But Ruben does it exceptionally well.
The neat thing about working with Tom was that he's such an avid fan of the games in like a real way. It's not just lip service. Like, he's played every one of them. He knows them backwards and forwards. So he had a level of commitment to the character and to the franchise that even exceeded my own.
There's like an ancient room, deep dial he has to spin around.
You're not going to give up, do you? Watch out!
We had the privilege of getting to actually work with Nolan North, who obviously is the guy that, started this whole thing and kind of brought Nathan Drake to life to begin with. I obviously developed my own way in which Nathan Drake speaks. So when I met him, I was trying not to copy him because his voice is so recognizable.
Casting Tom, I think, is great because he's got that charm. He's got the same enthusiasm as an actor as Nathan Drake has in adventuring. So it's a good recipe.
I actually was originally attached to play Nathan Drake, and then as various filmmakers went on and off the film, I was always kind of still hanging around hoping to make the film. And I got the call from Sony saying, "Hey, we're making the movie." So I was like, "Okay, great, who's the other guy?" And they were like, "Tom Holland." I said, "What do you mean Tom Holland?"
I was shooting Spider-Man Homecoming in Atlanta, and I would be playing Uncharted 4. But it wasn't until 2 years later where the idea of doing an origin story for Nathan Drake kind of came up.
A little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
I think the thing I loved most about the game Uncharted was the adventure and incredible action and humor.
If I was a little more your size, yeah, cute.
And to have the opportunity to bring it to life was a lot of fun.
So when do we start?
Here, pretend you're here.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. I'm sitting right next to you.
When you're making a Spider-Man movie, the sky's the limit. Spider-Man can essentially do anything. Whereas in this film, Nathan Drake, at the end of the day, is human. So designing these action sequences around that was really exciting.
You're doing great, Gene.
I trained very much for agility, but when I stood next to Mark, I realized how big he was. And I was like, man, I really need to put on some timber here because I'm gonna look like his nephew.
We better get small, or in your case, smaller.
So I trained my arse off.
You're only like 1 inch taller than me.
It's a little more than that, kid.
I'm very proud of what we've achieved. It's an action-adventure movie. It's about being daring and taking risks.
Come on!
It's a film that really keeps you on your toes.
Hey, you still with me?
Barely! Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Let's do this. Uncharted, let's go. I'm Tom Holland, and I play Nathan Drake, and this is Mark Wahlberg. I am Holland.
I was impressed you got that right. I have forests without woods. I have deserts without deserts without sand. Sorry.
What if you didn't reserve your tickets to see Uncharted and why is it the English I get one?
Good at that. Exactly. Okay, here we go.